I see the UK government has issued a statement with regard to last night's Iranian attack on Israel. I'll read it out to you. In response to increased Iranian threats and the growing risk of escalation in the Middle East, the UK government has been working with partners across the region to encourage de-escalation and prevent further attacks. We have moved several additional Royal Air Force jets and air refuelling tankers to the region. These will bolster Operation Shader, which is the UK's existing counter-Daesh operation in Iraq and Syria. In addition, these UK jets will intercept any airborne attacks within range of our existing missions as required. We will continue to cooperate closely with our regional partners in the interest of de-escalation. Gosh, OK, well, 03456060973 is the number. I'll be interested to hear your response to that statement. But first, I'm joined by Alistair Burt, former Foreign Office Minister with responsibility for the Middle East. Good morning to you, Alistair.
Good morning, Matthew.
Can I just hear your sort of overview of where we're at the moment, please, Alistair, because it is a changing situation, but it'd be interesting to hear where you think we're at the moment.
It is a changing situation, but the context is a long-term and very familiar one.
Yes.
Israel and Iran have significant enmity between them, or at least their leaderships do with each other, and the action that we have seen overnight from Iran comes in response to an attack by Israel recently on its diplomatic facilities in Syria. The issue is, I think, this morning where this goes from here.
Yes.
I rather agree with Robert Fox, who was quoted in your news bulletin, saying that had Iran wanted to inflict serious damage on Israel, it would have probably gone about things a different way. So there is still an opportunity, as many countries are saying in their statements, to reduce this tension by saying to both states, we can't really go on like this. Sooner or later, a tit for tat goes wrong, and then you have a real disaster in the region. And I would imagine regional states, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, the UAE, and others will be making exactly the same points.
Is the UK getting dragged into this? I mean, that government statement I found slightly concerning.
No, what the UK is doing everything it can to warn of an increased risk of escalation. The United Kingdom's support for the existence of the State of Israel is pretty well unquestioned throughout the UK and the political system, as is the case with the United States. And then by having military activity in the area to defend Israel, it's making a point to Iran about its activities, but it's not designed to be aggressive or offensive. It's designed to say to Iran, there are consequences to actions, do not go any further. But I would imagine the private messaging to Israel will also be today, your response to this must be extremely careful, if not to escalate the situation still further. So actually what the United Kingdom is, in company with others, trying to do is actually to lower the temperature by making sure that there should be no further action being taken.
Can I ask you this $64 million question? I mean, are we going to succeed? Can this situation be calmed down rather than escalating as it seems to be at the moment?
Well, 6 months ago, Matthew, after the appalling attack on Israel on October the 7th and the response that we have seen over the past few months, people were saying, well, is this the start of something greater? Surely this will escalate beyond Gaza to the Lebanon, for instance. Well, it didn't, because the restraints that are in place in the region are still there, and they're still there even after last night. None of the regional states want an all-out war between Israel and Iran into which other people might get dragged. It would be beyond comprehension in terms of damage. Nobody wants this, and that's why Gaza has not escalated significantly, despite the odd skirmish, and indeed despite the actions of the Houthi rebel group in the Red Sea. It has not spread as people might have expected. Now, those restraints are still there, but I think my point would be the tit-for-tat process has got to come to an end, because sooner or later there may well be a miscalculation. And I think that's what the diplomatic efforts will be seeking to achieve over the next few days and weeks.
All the details that we're receiving here in the UK are pretty patchy at the moment. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about this War Cabinet meeting, please.
Well, it's actually been cancelled, as far as I can tell. So I assume that it's because they were basically meeting all night. They were up literally all night. So it's been cancelled. But what we're hearing now, obviously, is that Israel is trying to coordinate with the United States which kind of attack it will launch. Because now Israel, first of all, it owes the United States a huge thank you for helping yesterday with firing many of those drones and missiles down. That's number one. And number two, for rallying around or behind Israel now. So there is a sense of Israel having to coordinate closely with the US before it launches an attack, because Israel has a very it's a great moment really for Israel. It sounds odd, but it is first of all a huge achievement shooting down all of those ballistic missiles and drones. That's number one. And number two, for the first time in, I would say, 4 months maybe, Israel actually has sympathy among Western nations. They have condemned Israel for months now for what it's been doing in Gaza. All of a sudden, all of them are rallying behind Israel now. So if Israel plays this out carefully and well, they could have a coalition of allies that support Israel in what it's going to do in Iran now.
Is there any view that if Israel hadn't attacked the Iranian consulate in Damascus, that you wouldn't have had to have America shoot down 99 or shoot down all these missiles yesterday?
That's true. But again, there's something that we completely forget in this whole 6-month period of war. Iran's proxies have attacked Israel every single day for 6 months. Now, it's unprecedented that a country is withstanding daily attacks from militias like Hezbollah, and the world simply not either caring about
Israel
it
has
or
responded, hasn't there? I mean, there's been reciprocal attacks all along the borders, but on a consulate, I mean, that is unprecedented.
Well, it is unprecedented, but if you see first of all, we have to establish that Hezbollah is the long arm of Iran. It goes without saying. Hezbollah has killed civilians in anti-tank missile attacks. I would say that that's much more serious than attacking an embassy, killing Iranian commanders. These attacks, 3,000 rockets from Hezbollah in the past 6 months, every single day. Now, you can say that, well, Israel started it by attacking the consulate. That's not technically true. Iran mobilized all of its
the consulate is sovereign Iranian territory. So what you've been doing or Israel has been doing is attacking across borders, but the attack on the consulate is an attack on Iranian territory. So that is seen by Iran as a provocation.
Absolutely. But again, Iran is directly instructing Hezbollah and other militias in the region to attack Israel. They're sending Houthi rebels send ballistic missiles over southern Israel. Now that's a breach of sovereignty in every possible way.
True that. Jotam Confino, got to move on. Thank you very much for giving up your time this Sunday morning. Jotam, then from foreign editor at Jewish News.